Committee. We are meeting in the county boardroom of the United County Courthouse. The meeting has been properly posted according to Wisconsin Open Meetings Law. We are handicapped accessible. Zoom is being offered as a public convenience. If the Zoom functionally drops, the meeting will continue in person at the courthouse here. All right, we could go with the call to order. And the only thing I'd like to do, I didn't have this on here, but my only announcement is I'd like to start the meeting with the Pledge of Allegiance.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Thank you. So you should have gotten a copy of Chris. Well, actually, you can call it to order. All the members are here. I'm here. Colette's here. Lene is here. Chris is here. Dan is here. And Levi's here. So thank you. Our meeting, we have a forum to conduct this afternoon's business. I'll ask for a motion to approve today's agenda.
I'll make a motion to approve the agenda. I second it.
Motion and a second to approve the agenda. Any questions? All those in favor indicate by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed, hearing none. Agenda approved. You also have a copy of the minutes.
I make a motion to accept the minutes as presented. Second.
A motion and a second to accept the minutes of April 2026. Or that would have been, what it was, or May?
April.
Okay. Any additions, corrections, deletions? Hearing none, all those in favor of approving the motion as indicated, indicate by saying aye. Aye. Motion approved. I look at my calendar now, we're going into June. We'd be June 9th, is that correct? June 9th at 1 o'clock?
8.
Oh, June 8th. Is that right? Yes, Monday, I'm thinking of the your meeting again. June 8th.
Hi, more.
Public comment, I know Eric is here, but he's gonna have some comments on PFAS. Yes,
Mr. Chairman, could we set the July date as well with the Catholic Lake District?
sure.
It would be helpful.
That, Jen, that'd be the 13th, July 13th. Sounds good.
Okay,
All right.
perfect, thank you.
Yeah, you're welcome. Okay, public comment, I know that he's gonna have some comments, but it's on our agenda when it comes to PFAS, so we'll just have Eric come at that point. Introduction of committee members, I think all the committee members are the same. We have one new face.
Yeah.
But not that new.
No.
We got, but Dan has been appointed to the.
Welcome, Dan.
Thanks. Yeah, your calendar just isn't busy enough.
It's busy enough.
You're making a county board supervisor a full-time job. So, thank you for being willing to serve on a committee. I'm gonna make a motion to suspend the rules and to bring forward the agenda item for Cathan Lake, right?
Captain Lake.
Cathan Lake,
Yep,
is there a,
right now it sits at number 21.
is there a second to suspend the rules and bring item 21 for discussion?
I'm second.
Okay, motion and a second to suspend the rules. All those in favor indicate by saying aye.
Aye.
And I know you're probably wondering why I do that. Way back in the WCA book, I read, you really shouldn't just put in there at the chairperson's discretion. But maybe I'm a little too technical at times. All right, with that, we did get a handout and I know he's there. I see him. Who wants to give us an update on the Lake District process?
Yep, what I want to do is introduce Ken Drake. I asked Ken to be here today before committee, just to give you a little bit of an update. They are just starting the process of forming a lake district. And I wanted to make sure they got before committee to update who they are,
Yeah.
what they're about, and what we're looking at moving forward. And then also open to questions from
Right.
committee here.
Right, just so we kind of understand what our committee's responsibilities are in forming the Lake District. And I did see Mr. Buckets is with us as well. And if you have any questions, Dan is very well versed in chapter 33 and very, very knowledgeable and very, very helpful. for any district that would want to reach out, and I'm assuming Dan would help them, I don't need to speak for him. But he does have a wealth of knowledge on chapter 33 and can help you through the process too, so. With that, we'll move forward.
Go ahead, Ken. Floor is yours.
All right. All right, great. Well, thanks for having me and allow me to speak here. So, Dan, we have worked, by the way, we have worked with Dan extensively and also with Michelle and several others from the county. So just to kind of give a background there. I'm president of the Catherine Lake Association, not district association. We formed over 20 years ago as an association to just kind of watch the health and monitor things in our lake. We have a pretty active association and have been working at this for a while. We have done several projects on our lake to do with Eurasian milfoil, EWM, I'll call it, because it's a lot easier to say. And a few other things. We've worked with Ontario in doing that, and the DNR, of course, per all the proper procedures and ways to do it. I'm only the recent president. There have been others before me. Larry Kreiter was one of the persons you may have run across before if you ever worked with us. And he's still involved, but he has since retired from that position. So we've been talking about this as an association because at the end of the day, it's just, it is a lot of work and kind of heavy lifting, so to speak, to kind of get an association on a volunteer basis to really monitor and take care of a lake, on a continuous basis. Things often slip through the cracks, things like that. So we wanted to form a district to kind of share the responsibility and also share the funding if we ever needed funding because certain projects do get expensive. We've done it on a volunteer basis, like I said, up till now, which has been the last 20 years. And, we just thought it would be a little more formalized, might be a better approach for our lake. We have talked about becoming a district, a lake district, for many years, probably over 10 at least. And we have explored and talked to other lake districts to kind of get a feeling for, how they work, pros and cons, what the process is, so on and so forth. And so we've been doing that. We looked into it pretty extensively last year, but just didn't quite make it. So this year we've kind of made an additional push because it is kind of a little work to get all our, I's dotted and T's crossed. So we've begun that process. We've, like I said, consulted with Dan Butkus, in addition to several people from the GIS department, I think is what you call it at the county, with the land department, and also with Michelle and some others as well. So we've begun that process. We have sent out a lot of information to our landowners on the lake, so that I think they're pretty up to speed. And then we've just recently sent out the petitions to be signed and then sent back to us, and then we will present them hopefully in a future meeting. It will probably be July 13th, the one that you just sent that Michelle kindly asked to set. That's not a promise, of course, but that's our current hope, is to have it ready by that time. Right now, the biggest challenge, I guess, if you want to call it that, is just getting all the tax roll names to exactly match all the signature pages, because people's ownership does change from like individuals to trusts, things like that happen. So we just got to make sure that all those are neatened up. And we did refer to last year's tax rolls, but since then there have been a few changes to the computer system, if you want to call it that, at the county. So we're just making sure all those match. We have had an extensive Q&A that was sent out that went through a lot of questions and answers. Believe it or not, I actually had very few questions back from the landowners because I think we've talked about this, like I said, extensively in past meetings when we've had it as an association. So there were actually not as many questions as I had thought, because I think everyone kind of knows the answers already. But there were a few. but not overabundance of them. So we've got those all taken care of. And the people with questions, I went ahead and asked. So will you support it? Just thought I'd ask, and they all did. They all said they would that I talked to. So I think it was a favorable Q&A. They got their answers, and I think they feel comfortable with it. So that's kind of the overview of where we are. And I know some of this was handed out in your handouts, and you have it in front of you as well. But Catherine Lake, just so you know, it's about a 200-acre lake in the northern part of the county, up near Eagle River. If you go up on Highway 17, about 5 miles before you get to Eagle River, you take a little offshoot, a dead-end road that goes to, it's called Aldridge Lake Road, and you go a couple miles back there, and that's where it is. And you can see someone's kindly displaying it on the screen there, and it's circled in yellow. So that's the lake we are. We're entirely within the township of Sugar Camp, and for reference sake, I have talked to the township as well about this, so they are aware of these efforts. And I've also had a brief correspondence with the DNR as well, because it's my understanding that we're supposed to notify the state of these efforts, and we've done that as well. And the DNR, it was the ecologist. His name is Scott. I forgot his last name, but I don't have it in front of me, but I've worked with him extensively on it as well, or at least he's aware of it, I should say. I think that's about it. I wanted to cover just kind of the intro phase here. I'm sure you might have questions, and I'm happy to answer anything you might have.
Okay, thank you for that update. You really got a lot done to this point if you've got the land records thing in those 3 pages of all of this. So that's takes a lot of effort on your part. And what you're going through, I think a lot of lakes within Atlantic County have experienced the same kind of frustrations trying to operate from an association and need to become a little bit more formal. So I think you're right on board with that. So Mr. You would bring to us, would that be the form of a resolution? What else do we have to do with Carl or Michelle? We have to have a public hearing.
Yeah, what I included, I just did this up a little late on
Yeah.
Friday, so I included it in print form to committee. This is a tentative timeline, starting with July 13th. What I had to do was kind of backdate it as to how late we can submit. And there is a resolution, there's a couple more, appearances before us, the public hearing, so this timeline lays it out really well. So as long as we get submission in July, we're looking final date to county board during the November meeting.
Oh,
So it does take
Does take
some time,
Yes,
it does,
Okay.
with back and forth, the report. We've done a lot of work already, so really kudos to
Yes.
Ken and his group for being where they're at this point.
And can that timeline work for you folks as well?
Yes, we had hoped to have it to you in June, but for various reasons, we couldn't. We didn't think that would be achievable from our end because, like I said, a lot of the signatures had to match exactly, and some things had changed on the exact wording, the ownerships. But that's really been the main delay, if you want to call it that. But we're working with the land department of the counties to make sure all those signatures would match, and everything will be squared away on that.
I think we're in really good shape. Their goal is to have this done by the end of the year, and without, as soon as they get petitions in and the correct percentage, I mean, we're ready to keep moving forward, so you'll see us again and again on this year's agenda.
Yes.
Any members, yes.
Ken, I have a question for you. Do you know where your Lake District is going to be having its meetings?
That is a very good question. I don't know that. I presume that I will work with. My first instinct is that we could work with the township and see if they have any preference, because they do have some. As I understand the rules, and I may not understand 100% as much as some people on this call, but is that the township does have the ability to appoint one person of the board of the district board. And so we'll work with them and see what they prefer. So it might be at the township hall. It might be some other location, but we'll of course work with them on that. So I guess we don't know that yet, but that's our hope, is to work with them and figure that out so that all the open meeting, laws and records are all kind of kept squared away. That would be my first preference, but we could change it if somebody has a preference on the township or at the county for that matter.
I would just have one suggestion.
Yeah.
And it's come up recently because we are having more lake districts added to our group. And there's a limited number of us supervisors who are attending. Those that have Wi-Fi available and can also make Zoom meetings possible would certainly be better attended, particularly in the winter months, as we go forward. And it was
Yes.
never an issue before, when everybody just got used to going to the meetings all in person. But it does make a difference for timing and transportation issues. If you want to get everybody who needs to be there, that Zoom meetings would be better than not having the ability to attend.
Yes. Yep. I agree. Yep. Yeah. No, I agree with those points, and we'd also want as much participation as possible and attendance and access as much as possible. And I don't know exactly when the meetings would occur, like throughout the year, for example, if it could be in the summer or whatever, when people are more available up here or something like that. But we'll work with people to make that as available as possible.
Again, Mr. Rob again. Yeah, I think quite a few of our lake districts do meet at the town hall.
Okay.
And that's been a good location. They work well with that. So,
Yep.
and you know that once this gets all done, our committee will also recommend to the county board a chair representative from us to serve on your commission as the town rep, the county rep, and then 3 of your members on it as well. And typically, I believe statutorily it's quarterly. Jimmy, I believe it's quarterly.
Yes.
Yeah, I believe it's quarterly, but we'll get into those details. Those will get you all set up. If you have any questions, certainly Michelle is there to help you out with that. You can forward them to me as well, but I think she's a little more knowledgeable than me, and I would defer to her first. So, thank you for what you've done. Is there anything else you'd like to add?
No. Yeah, the meeting location and timing is just to cover that, to be sure. We're definitely open to suggestion and as much access as possible, and we'll work with both the township and the county, of course, because of the assigned members of the 5-member board, as I understand it. That wouldn't be a problem at all. We'll definitely make that easy for everyone as possible, and including the Zoom if needed. So yes. No, I don't think there's anything else I have to cover. I will say though that as this is kind of a large effort, and there's a lot of we just have to make sure we've got all our ducks in a row and all the forms filled out correctly and whatever. And Michelle has been very well versed, and we really thank her for her time and efforts on that, including the land department as well. And Dan Butkus has helped us out, so he's able to help navigate these waters. No pun intended. So, yeah, thanks to everybody. And I guess the reason I say that is just if you see any issues that you see preemptively that, hey, if you did this, it'd be better or whatever, feel free to reach out to me and have suggestions or advice. We won't take offense at it. In fact, we welcome it, because we just want to make sure this goes as smooth as possible and works with the county and the township, kind of in collaboration here. So that's all I have to cover and I can think of.
Thank you. And if you want to keep this committee informed on a monthly basis, you can just shoot an email to Michelle with progress that you had on a monthly basis. And if you need our assistance on anything else, you can indicate that. So you can do that in writing. You don't have to be here in person to do that, but you certainly can come in person if you would like to. Whatever works best for you.
Okay,
All right.
sounds good. Thank you.
And I commend you for your efforts, and I know this committee probably will be seeing more, lake going districts with the many issues that the lakes are trying to deal with, and getting the fair share of people to contribute to the issues that you're facing. Sometimes a district is really the logical way to go. So we understand where you're at and we appreciate your efforts. Anything
Right.
else?
No, nothing here. Thank you.
All right, thank you.
Thank you, Ken, too.
All right, thank you. I will drop off if that's all right then. Thank you.
You bet. Yep.
Okay, bye.
We'll go back to the whole of the committee. I don't know if I got appointed chair of this committee because I'm the old guy. I'm not quite sure. I certainly, I didn't lobby for it, but I will do my best. And I think what I'd like the committee members to know, each of us have our own opinions sometimes on the conservation, land and water issues that come forward to this committee. And that's okay, that's a good thing. I am not the chair of this committee to squelch anything that this committee would like to move forward with. Sometimes our positions, this committee may differ than what other committees of jurisdiction in the county have. So one of the things I'd like to make sure that with Michelle and Stephanie and Carl's oversight as well. What, as you look at the next, between now and next April, what are some of the key issues that you think that we need to address from a land and water point of view? And how do we best communicate those issues to the full county board or whatever? And that's what I see my role. I'm a facilitator. I can have my opinion. I might not always agree, but that's why I get a vote. And we have people voting on that. So I very much look forward to working with us. Like I said, I've been on here since 2014 and you two have been on here as well since that time. So I appreciate everything you do. And I look forward to us moving forward. But you know, not everybody's gonna agree. So, but I look forward to those discussions. So that's what I see the role of the committee, and I don't know if anybody else has any comments from a committee perspective, what they perceive our role to be. But we're the conservation, land and water, that we need to move forward, move those issues forward as we see fit. Anybody? Okay. The power of the chair. I get it, guys, you know. All right, PFAS update, and I know you're here, there was a very good handout there on PFAS. Which seems to be ever changing.
Well, this one was hot off the presser.
Oh. Are you ready? Yep, we're ready. I'm gonna pull that, I'm gonna get under this one here. Pull that.
All right, PFAS wise, I sent the entire committee, an email which included two of our organization's, articles. Most recent on PFAS, one of them addressing, the DNR trying to set, groundwater standards for PFAS. And also where the DNR sits with this newly designated PFAS money, 35 million of which is kind of private well grants and 80 million, which is more community money, kind of towns and counties and stuff like that. I think, on the groundwater issue, I think we all understand that setting groundwater standards is important, particularly in counties like Oneida County, where most of the people drink their groundwater. Their groundwater is their drinking water, right? So I mean, the DNR is in the process of trying to, for 6 different PFAS compounds. They're trying to set the same number for groundwater standards as the federal government has set for drinking water right now. Okay, so that's your 4 parts per billion on the PFOA and PFOS. And then there's a few other, then there's 4 other more newer compounds which have different levels. But in other words, like I said, the DNR is it. And in that process, the DNR has created an environmental economic impact assessment, which says how much this adopting these rules would cost. if any of you are familiar with the Rains Act, that's where this environment, economic impact assessment analysis is going to fall in place at the state level, right? So, right now, their assessment, made it under the Rains Act restrictions, which is state rules that. So 10 million over 2 years is the number, and the DNR came up with 9,800,000. That number we expect to be contested by, most likely, if everything goes as planned or as normal. Like, groups like Wisconsin manufacturers and industry groups might have an issue with that environmental analysis and, I mean, the economic analysis, so. But in either case, this would be a good thing if Wisconsin adopted these groundwater limits. If you read my article, I mean, if you guys have any questions on anything, I'm just hitting the highlights of what I sent to you and what's kind of newer going on. The other thing was an article on, with the newly designated money, the DNR is hiring 10 new positions, PFAS specific. They're projecting 4 to 6 months to get those people hired. As I understand, this money actually doesn't get released until July. But between getting the people up to speed and now the DNR has just a ton of planning on how the money's gonna be distributed, how they're gonna distribute it, whether it goes to the county and I mean, there is just a ton of planning that has to be done. So I think it's not gonna be until late summer or some of this money in different forms might become available. So it's, they're gonna be preaching patience because, I mean, they weren't, I mean, that's all I can tell you right now. So, I mean, one thing I wanna kind of, in my mind, dealing with this for a while is what is the county's responsibility eventually gonna be on this PFAS issue, right? And it may not be this committee's purview. I mean, maybe the health department, but sooner or later, as this money becomes available, somebody I would assume from the county is either going to be handed this responsibility to whether it's interface with the DNR or whatever, or in the towns, but it's a big deal, and I think I haven't followed the health department lately. I mean, we had made several appearances there originally with the PFAS resolution, but I think that's something you guys need to figure out. And even if you have to take it to the county board and start figuring out, it's time, The last item I shared just today, and it's just something recently is kind of hit, is this biosolid. So the DNR is working on an interim strategy for amounts of PFAS allowed in biosolids. So biosolids is what we're getting from the paper mills that are spreading on the fields. Biosolids is what's coming from water treatment plants that we're spreading on the fields. So this is their newest and latest attempt to update an interim biosolid spreading strategy. Oneida County, Stella in specifically is the poster child for biosoliid spreading, right? I mean, that's where that came from. Our group, Oneida County Clean Water Act, and we work with a coalition of groups in the state. Some of them are statewide and have Madison presidents. And but we also work in that coalition includes people from French Island who have a PFAS issue, people from Marinette. Recently, Stella, who now have a committee, a PFAS committee, and now we have one of their members that attend these coalition meetings. So our coalition is looking at this latest strategy, and they're asking me for a public comment. I know I quit at first blush, we're having concerns with the provided strategy, which you guys got in an email, or I think John probably gave you a paper copy of the whole.
Yeah,
So,
everybody's got it.
all right. things that kind of stuck out to us right away is, is that I think there needs to be more consideration of livestock absorbing PFAS when they are consuming, plant life that's on a PFAS contaminated field. There's concerns about the difference between sandy soil and clay soil or sandy soil. I mean, the PFAS is gonna matriculate into the groundwater much quicker in a sandy situation as opposed to maybe a clay situation. And one thing we've been kind of emphasizing from Oneida County Clean Water Action, and the DNR has kind of been hesitant to listen, but our point with Stella is Stella's contaminated. We know it, the soil's been tested. I mean, regardless of whatever the allowable limit in a biosolid PFAS is gonna be, that an area like Stella that's already contaminated, flat out, no PFAS spreading, no biosolid that has any, so I mean, our point is Stella is way behind the 8 ball. Any PFAS spreading, whether it meets the DNR's determined number, should not be done to there, until they clean up that mess. It just makes no sense. But I think the last part is the biosolid number that they're shooting for is 20 parts per billion, which in the biosolid, they want to allow 4 parts per trillion is what's allowed in drinking water, and 20 parts per billion. Parts per billion is 1,000 times greater than parts per trillion. So if you take the allowable PFAS allowed in their proposed biosolid number, it's 20,000 parts per trillion, where our drinking water is 4 parts per trillion. All right, with the thought being that most of it gets caught up in the ground and eventually, before it eventually hits the water. But that's kind of the gist of, I mean, there's a lot of stuff that you guys need to look at, whether it's the health department or whatever, but if you have any questions, I mean, that's a highlight or the gist of what I sent you for this one.
You mentioned they are recommending, who's they,
For the biosolids,
for the X parts per million or whatever.
for the biosolids, DNR has come up with that 20 parts per billion.
It's the DNRs.
Right.
Well, this is saying 100 parts per billion is the DNR's current threshold concentration for PFAS plus PFOA in biosolids and industrial sludge to be considered significantly impacted. Their present
Well,
threshold
significant,
is 100 parts per billion.
not for land spray though.
That's what this is saying, that's what this is saying.
Well, that I, but I mean,
So in terms of, on page 3, the recent legislation was that the 2025 Act 201 was enacted on April 6th. And it lists those 3 bullet points. The legislature really didn't do much on that. The governor did release the money. And they came into agreement on that. So there wasn't any recent legislation in this last,
not since the release of the, well,
unless there's one, yeah,
the
okay,
agreement on the release of the money, right?
right, and then, okay.
But it's not, like I said, that money and the DNR figuring out how they're gonna spend it is, end of summer is probably the first where you're gonna see it, and how that gets distributed. Right now, the DNR is deciding
Right.
who's getting the grants or how,
Right.
and there's only one guy up here that's been doing it for Oneida County. So now, as this money becomes available, the scramble and the hiring of the 10 new employees, I would highly recommend a county or a town to try and get to the front of the line.
But yeah, I think in terms of where we go with this, possibly another agenda item we might have for next month is what are our strategies countywide in terms of dealing with PFAS? Is it the health department? Is it executive committee? How do we bring all these together and try to figure out what to do? Because it's still kind of a moving target on some of these things, but, and the other thing is, I haven't been keeping up too much with WCA, I don't know where they are on it. I know from the executive committee, they are initially kind of relying on this committee to get information. And to provide that information to executive and certainly we can forward what Eric sent us to Billy for him to distribute just for information purposes. But maybe next meeting we kind of talk about strategy moving forward. Because this issue's statewide, nationwide. We're not alone. It's,
Exactly, and
some counties may be ahead of us already in terms of the work they're doing, so.
I would have to believe that unless something's going on at your health department, you know, and I know there is Casey Crump, who is the chairman of the town of Stella, is a member of the health department, so maybe they've progressed.
Yeah.
But, you know, I mean, if it's the health department that you're gonna say you need to pick this up, I mean, you're gonna talk, you know, I mean, I'm sure they're gonna tell you, we don't have the capacity. And now you're talking about more money if you're gonna designate somebody specifically. I'm sure there's not people that just have.
Yeah, I can't say from my recent campaign efforts, there are any number of individuals in my door-to-door contacts that are concerned about PFAS. In where we're going, so it's definitely there, so I appreciate, I don't wanna get too much more into it, because it's an update. But I think we can put it on the next agenda and try and look at some strategies as well, so.
And I think you have enough information, I mean, that you could dig into it, right? It would be too much to go into all the details.
Yeah. So thank you for all your efforts. Pleasure. Any questions? Give me a minute of Eric at this time. Hearing none, thank you very much.
Thank you.
All right. Now we get into appointments. We have, first, we will select our committee vice chair. Are there any nominations?
I would like to nominate Colette Sordo as the vice chair of this committee. She did an excellent job as chairperson last term.
The nomination in a second.
I'll second it.
Okay. I make a motion that the nominations be closed, that we cast a unanimous ballot for Colette to be the vice chair of our committee.
Second.
All those in favor indicate by saying aye.
Aye.
Hearing none? Another. Added title. You had it, worth it. The other thing I've been talking to Michelle, we do select the North Central Land and Water Conservation Association representative. And alternate, Linnea has been doing that. I believe they meet quarterly.
There are 3 meetings.
3 meetings.
3 meetings per year. There's a summer tour.
Yeah, okay,
Yeah, another early, they're kind of oddly placed throughout the year.
right. Linnea, can you just talk a little bit about your experience on the committee and?
Well, the best thing about it is it gets me to the meetings that I might not have, gone to otherwise. A great learning experience. The vice chair is not an extremely time consuming position because you only have to be there if the president is. But it's a wonderful chance for networking and education. And just seeing what is happening through other counties in our area. So I would say the best part about that is educational.
And I talked to Linnea a little bit about this, she has done it, but she has another thing added to her plate, and that is the city council. Which is taking some of her time too, I guess under duress, she would continue in this role. But I think you wouldn't be opposed if somebody else would like to step forward, correct?
I will share the wealth.
Is there anyone interested in being this individual? No one. Okay. So. How about the alternate? Well, Linnea, if you take the first part. And then we'll get in, I would be the alternate. So if you can't make it, I certainly would attend in your absence. If you're in, feel free to let me know that, so
I
with
would
that, I'll make
agree with that.
a motion to have Linnea be the NCLWCA representative and Rob Jensen be appointed as the alternate representative if she cannot make it.
Second.
All those in favor indicate by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed, hearing none.
Thank you.
Yes. Not sure what I'm getting myself into, but that. now to select a lumberjack and RCD representative, and if you could explain that, Michelle, just a little bit of what that is, I know. Some of us do get those applications for the lumberjack that come through here.
Yep.
So we have a little bit of knowledge of what that is.
Yep, Lumberjack does meet quarterly. They are our local, what they call a resource conservation and development group. So they focus on natural resources. They have a grant program that we do see grantees come before committee each year. So that one, we have a representative. I know I'm in the background kind of as an alternate rep, so if our lumberjack rep can't attend, I would be able to attend that meeting, so we don't need an alternate for that one, but yeah, we just had a lumberjack meeting last week, was it? Seems already longer. Yep, so we had that lumberjack meeting last week, and maybe, I don't know, Linnea, maybe you might say a few words better from your perspective as a past rep on
Well, it
lumberjack.
hasn't done me any good. Yes, I didn't know what I was getting into either, but Colette has been on the lumberjack committee as
Mhm.
well. And,
Yeah, it's a little bit more structured, I would say North Central is, I don't wanna say loosey goosey, but it's a little bit more relaxed, whereas Lumberjack's a little bit more formal.
one of
Organization.
the best parts about the lumberjack, organization is they provide funds every year for grant programs, so they're matching grants. And again, it's 7 counties, if I have the count right.
Yes,
And you get to see how people solicit the grants, they have to show up and they have to, you know. Sell the idea to the entire council and they have to meet the three. Priorities of what we're trying to do as far as conservation. And if their project meets that, we get to rate them in a 1 through 10 priority list of who gets the money first. And there was one sad year when we had money left over because not enough people applied for it, imagine that. But there's everything from invasive species to
Being a lumberjack.
water conservation, just the way that people apply this, there's areas in our parks. We have Town Line Lake here, which was a lumberjack award-winning candidate last year for fighting invasive species. It was the Girl Scouts, correct? The sisters. Love that team. So it's something that it pays dividends to us specifically, not only in our county, but in our municipality. And the best part is, we don't have to come up with the money or the labor.
Well, I think we're ready to move forward on that. Gonna make that motion.
I'll make a motion that I will be the lumberjack representative, and if I can't make something, that Rob would be the backup.
I'm the assistant. I will second that. Any questions? Hearing none, all those in favor indicate by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed, we got that taken care of. The Lake District appointments, the reason I put that on here is, after the chair put the recommendations out, there's a little confusion on that, because in the past, this committee seemed to have the input in terms of recommending who gets put on what lake districts. And I have talked to Linnea relative to Squash Lake, and it really works out better for her schedule, because they do offer Zoom meetings there pretty regularly. And therefore I have no problem, putting Linnea down for Squash Lake. Okay, and I didn't know if on some of these, you had a district that was taken away.
I had Nokomis and Bear Lake last year, or last 2 years.
Are you okay keeping that?
Yeah.
Okay, that's what I thought, where I got it, okay, I'm gonna put Chris down there. All right,
I nominate Rob for Crescent Lake.
Well, we'll get them all, well, that's already been on that, okay. How about you, were you,
I just pulled up the papers and read them this weekend for the new lake. I'm not familiar with anything with the new lake they assigned to me. So,
Was that mid, what?
oh,
it says Lene. Oh, is this last year's?
no, this is what's got.
Yeah, this one on the front.
Yeah, so, horse head,
Of course, that.
I mean, I have been called that before, but
so you had thunder before?
yeah,
Okay, you okay with that?
yeah.
Okay, well, thunder's okay. Then Mid Lake and Horsehead Lake. Linnea, you've got squash, is there another one that interests you?
Because of other considerations, I will not be able to do any that don't have Zoom accessibility.
Okay. And I don't know if Mid or Horsehead Lake do Zoom. Anybody know?
Who had them last?
I don't know who had them last time.
Was it?
No.
Yes.
Can you do any one of these?
I would horse I like,
Okay,
no, which horse I like.
oh, that's what, I believe that's the one in,
On 47,
yeah.
Just
I
the
know.
one.
just that.
I do horse I.
Okay.
You gotta explain what that is.
I
I
can-
don't
it's-
anything about that.
It's really,
I fished it a lot.
you're the. The Lake District commission consists of one town appointee, one county board appointee, and then the 3 elected commission members. When it gets to the annual meeting, the town and the county have no power. You don't decide things, the 3 commissioners do. And so at the quarterly meetings, you're there in more of an advisory role. I would say my role is if you have a question, it usually goes to one of those 2. Yeah, for information.
Okay.
You're there to facilitate, I see it as a role of, you're there representing the county to provide information from county perspective to the committee. And they're usually pretty good groups, I mean, Bear Lake group is wonderful.
Yeah, they're great. Yeah.
They're really a good
Yeah,
group.
we got Lake Milford and it's not Lake District, so.
No.
2 sisters.
Okay, so we got Mid Lake out there now.
I suppose that's something.
Carl has his hand raised.
Yeah,
Just to put in perspective, in Vilas County, they have county board representation, but it's not necessarily from the land and water conservation.
right,
Typically, it's the county board supervisor that be represented by a
so we're at Mid Lake.
Mid Lake is Woodruff.
It's between
I fished that
Managua
bunch
and
too.
Tahoe.
Okay, so that's gonna be,
I would do that. as
you
well.
sure? I mean, if we can,
I don't mind, I know those lakes really well.
okay,
And they may have, Mid Lake may have Zoom.
right, well,
They got.
the committee's always tried to do this, is always tried to do this with our representatives from the Land and Water Committee. However, as more and more lake districts are being formed, we are eventually gonna have to take a look at whether or not those county board supervisors from those districts wanna do that. Because it sounds like that'll be operative in 2027. So it looks like Mr. Holowinski.
That's what I mentioned it.
Person,
And there's another one in the pipeline too that won't be coming up this year, but will be coming up probably before the end of the term.
so what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna move forward with these recommendations forward. Well, first of all, I'll make a motion to move forward the recommendations for Lake District appointments as presented by the committee and to forward on for the county board chair for his consideration. Is there a second?
Second.
Second,
Motion and a second. Any discussions? Hearing none, all those in favor indicate by saying aye. Opposed, hearing none. Thank you. And they really are. You'll find in every lake district I've been in, Bear Lake, Squash Lake, Crescent Lake, wonderful people. Their hearts are all in the right place, and they work hard on behalf of the lakes that they try to protect, so it's nice that we can have representation on there, but I think you'll really be, and their annual meetings are impressive. They're really good to see that kind of turnout, yes.
Quick question, how do you wanna go? Do you wanna talk to Tracy about that agenda topic on county board, or do you want us to reach out to Tracy? I don't know how it's being listed on county board.
I will. Get this to her,
Okay,
either today in an email, and I will send it to Scott and her.
okay, perfect.
Scott knew that we were gonna have this on the agenda, he knew that Renee and I talked about Squash Lake and the availability of the Zoom. What was working for her, so, and I had no
Okay.
problem with that, so, thank you.
Thank you.
Catherine Lake is like a few miles from where my husband and I go to eat weekly.
Oh, Catherine?
Catherine,
Yeah.
Okay, all right, now we got that taken care of. Land and water, staff introductions. Yep.
This is it for the day.
Stephanie.
No,
Grossman.
I shouldn't say that. John and Jules also online. I think most of the committee knows everybody. What we don't have, who we don't have here today are some of our LTEs.
Right.
Joanne Lund, who does a lot of our special project, our grant projects, is not feeling well today, so she couldn't make the meeting. And Bearbell Eric, who does also our grant projects, is out of the country for a couple more weeks. So we'll bring him back in and we'll kind of connect up at a later date here. But so that's staff introductions. And also, I know we also shared that LCC training flyer, just a reminder, that's coming up. That is also an official North Central Land and Water meeting
yeah, so,
date. So
one of the meetings is already taken care of.
exactly, so I'll be there for both of those on that day, but I urge committee members, I know they've really. I think we reformatted the whole LCC training and they're doing it a little bit differently, so if there's any interest from committee, please reach out to Jonna. And I think you might have to register yourself, but we'll get you figured out with that.
I would really encourage Dan to do that because there is stuff about the Land and Water Committee that you won't know, you won't find out anywhere else. And what we're doing, what we're supposed to be doing, and it's mind blowing. And I plan on going back for another hit at it,
Yeah,
because things do keep changing.
yeah, and it's neat to see the other supervisors and other staff members to kind of talk with and engage with as well. So yeah, please reach out, we'll hook things up as best we can. So that is A. B, there's really not much, I just wanted to share the updated land and water resource management 5-year work plan. Typically, every 2 years, I send this around to the new committee. This is pretty much the same as I shared 2 years ago, but we did update it a little bit because we had the lake classification that's in place. And also looking at watershed priorities, like some of the priority watersheds, I should be saying. I don't think we had it printed yet. That one, because it was kind of long, it would have been in the email. In the packet material.
See, I had nothing that was hooked to my packet.
Oh, really? Well, then we'll make sure that you get that.
Yeah.
Jonna, did you hear that? By chance, Dan said there wasn't anything attached to his email, if we could.
Mine either.
Really? Okay, we've got Linnea and Dan did not get packet information with their
Okay,
email.
I will ship that out immediately.
Okay, we'll get
Thank
that
you.
taken care of. I apologize for that. So there was just updates on there. I didn't print it, so take a look if you need to at that. And then office reports. Nothing unusual, just monthly budget, actual and invoices paid that you see each month from us. But I'm happy to take questions if there are any.
Let the minutes show that we received the budget actual and invoice paid. Next one, 12, resolution for the citizens committee member. So. Why do you think we need this?
Okay, so we have Levi, thank you Levi, he is our farmer representative. Levi is statute required, we have to have an agricultural representative on our committee. And there has been some talk in the background or some just discussion about, that's really neat and cool, we love it. But we also have our lakes and rivers and our groundwater, especially when we're seeing PFAS concerns come up more so, groundwater issues, quantity issues, the whole the data centers coming up. So that conversation has begun. We thought that it might be a good idea to investigate a water, I just call it a water person,
Representative.
a water representative. Yep, and not necessarily lake, but it could be lake, river, and just a water rep, yep. So, committee, we brought that to the committee, committee said yes to that. So what we have in front of committee today is the resolution. The county code has to be changed. Within statute, this committee can have up to 2 citizen members. So Levi being one, and another, we could bring on another member. And that would be our water representative. So we had the resolution that we sent around, that we included in packets. For one thing, we had to change county code. It was already wrong because they referred to our ag rep as a farm service agency rep. That was incorrect, so we needed to go in and make that change anyways. And so what we did with this is change it to up to 2 citizens slashed out FSA. And then the resolution talks a little bit about the why we're looking at hoping to get another citizen member.
No. Two of the members didn't get the resolution. Correct?
Yeah,
I didn't-
email that I did not see
You didn't
it.
either?
I have it.
Well, you got it now?
Yep.
Okay. So I guess it's up to the committee, what you read, how big of a rush is this?
We can hold off till June. It's not anything that has to be like done. I'm happy with holding off if that's what committee feels more comfortable with.
Like.
I haven't read it.
Yeah, my
I mean,
preference.
we talked about
My
it, but I
preference
know what it
is
is.
to give them.
Understood.
An opportunity to look at the resolution and then to,
Yeah.
I agree.
and then to come back
Okay.
at our June meeting thing. I'll make a motion to postpone the resolution for citizen member on the CUW committee until our June meeting.
Excellent.
Motion by Moon, seconds by Dan. Any questions? All those in favor indicate by saying aye. Aye. Opposed, we'll take it up in June. Sorry about that. Then you've got the Wisconsin Lakes and Rivers Convention. It's an activity.
Yep, just that, we had gone, Stephanie and myself attended, and also Linnea attended as a supervisor. So we just wanted to, just update community that we had attended the event.
Not only that, but we had 3 speakers from your team.
Yes, so
So
we spoke a lot at that convention, so we represented.
it was very heartwarming to know that we have the level of expertise that we're not only doing it, we're teaching it. So
Thank you
kudos to all of you.
for bringing that, yep, so we were busy with presentations. Lots of good conversations, lots of good networking. I know I came back with a new grant idea, and that is I always welcome that. So it just kind of gets the blood to think, the flowing and to mind the thinking there, so Steph, I'm not sure if you had a comment or two about anything that.
Well, Michelle gave a wonderful presentation, as did Joanne, so kudos to both of you, packed rooms as well. I participated in a new initiative at the convention this year called Collaboration Room by Topic. There were 4 topics, and it was held during kind of a downtime in the evening on Thursday during the convention, and so with 4 topics, if any of the lake folks had issues or questions or needed resources, they could come to us, and for that 2-hour period, I was just bombarded mostly with Eurasian water milfoil hand harvesting. And I see a trend where people are losing hope with hand harvesting efforts, and so with that, the Lakes Convention wants to have me give a workshop on that next year.
Yeah, good. Yeah, we also were part of a grant workshop, that was held on the first day as well, so that was well attended. And worked with, one of the county lakes and rivers with that. So it was cool, it was a good workshop, it was a good convention.
Good convention.
So, Linnea, you were there too?
Yeah, and I was so proud, so proud. But our lake classification thing too, I mean, that's gonna be a huge thing moving forward. With the number of lakes that have already made some kind of restriction on the number of, well, not the number really, but the amount of damage that can be created by boats. And we've always had the discussion about, but who's going to enforce it? Who's going to enforce it? We're not an enforcement committee, we're an education committee. And I think you guys just do a heck of a job educating. And the lake classification thing is something that, as we move forward and get that into the hands of other people, like realtors who are being asked, to find lakeshore property for people. And they can go through the classification and see what problems they're gonna be entering into on the lakes that they're getting into. And again, if there's education there, they can be joining the lake association or starting a lake association. I want you to know that Stephanie did a face-to-face presentation on a lake without a lake district, but with invasive species. And just in the way of getting a lake association started. As a beginning, before there's a worse problem, getting the people lined up and what they need to know going forward. I really think it's all about education. So thanks for what you do. It's been tremendous.
And then thank the two of you for being there, and Linnea, I think anytime you go to those conventions, obviously being a presenter helps, because people come up and kind of spurs conversations for other things that are going on. But also the interaction with other people throughout the state. Sometimes we overlook the importance of that, and I think attending those conferences is very, very valuable, so thank you very much for that. With that, any questions from the committee? Hearing none. You did get a handout there on the events and workshops that are coming up here. And obviously, if you're interested, it's not about, hold the Stephanie.
Yeah, we'll do both of us.
Yeah, if you're interested in attending any of those, feel free to do so. Got a break in your busy schedule. All right, item to include on the next agenda, you certainly can send them to me. John does a really good job of getting out and asking for those things. And remember, we do follow this little book here. If you have something you want to get on there, think you need my approval, just let me know. If I read this, I need to put it on there. I cannot, if you say no, it gets on the agenda, so, thank you for that. Okay. Anything else from Conservation Land and Water? Thank you for your information. Have a great week.
Thank you. Everyone do.
Thank you.
Thank you.
And I can tell you, when you get up to Lake Superior, it's cold.
Yeah.
It is.
Very cold. Yeah. Tell you the boats.
Yeah, this one.
I'll see that. Signs of the boat landing just. Yeah, we're gonna take a quick break. 5 minutes. You are ready.
Or
We're good. How are you?
Oh, no.
We're just starting to work on.
I'm all right, hanging in there, running around.
Yeah.
We got some names on the board. Three or four pages. We've got, Pheasant's probably gonna be on board.
this is when
Yeah, so we just previous until I'll find out what's the best way. I find from that grant, I think that's the same, we'll find out again. Doubles on river.
I'm sorry.
Well, you said we do a state one.
Yeah, they do.
We don't get the state one.
You're looking at passes.
And I already.
You want me to spend 1 hour?
Yeah, so they can push off.
Okay.
Me to these
Okay.
people, sorry.
Oh,
I'm just going to see if there's anything. And you,
Okay, and I'll let you know.
No,
as soon as
everything's pretty-
This is so, if you want to. So if we don't get it, then I'll end up applying by us. So without it. Not that you're,
They need to.
This is actually what they're saying. This is a-
Fine, sorry. No, you're fine. I'm sorry.
yeah, that should come well to, so I think this is like problems.
Yeah, I saw some traffic from Wendy. So
Watch it
just
from.
from.
What's in there right now?
Two.
I don't know, if you want, I don't know if it's.
And I know
We
the
have
big.
it just, I just share things, I mean, he's. If any, he's about it, how he said to share.
Yeah.
He's, I mean, he follows a contract.
Because the expression.
Either way.
Yeah.
They always used to manufacture the.
I know. I know, he was fine.
I'm good with whatever you wanted to.
There's some big long.
When I get to that, say, you okay with the fire, so that.
I don't.
What this I read through, it was like, oh my God, this, the last that all one is an loser.
Well, I think it is a little, like I said, I think we operate, so I don't, I mean, I have one county, Price, one of the 9. That's not, because he was on the committee who helped write it before I even started in Price, so he was like, you have to sign it, cause you know, it's austerity or whatever. But other than that, I don't have any other. But it's a conversation in some of the W's, so like, they're like, my work's not this document, why isn't everybody signing it? And people are like, cause it's work, it's like, well, we, like, the contracts,
Yeah.
why make more?
You know, how.
But-
I just can't remember, he was really, they were really good these. So I Okay, well, that's sweet.
I think it's going to be like.
Well, that's true, you'll be.
Darryl.
All right.
Then it has to talk like that.
All right,
Should stay with that. Okay.
we will resume. Okay, office reports, so it may have gotten them, so it may not have gotten them, I guess, the only question is. Anything unusual in the report? We're all good.
I think it is.
I think the reports were in the first, she sent out that amended agenda twice.
Okay.
The first one you got the day before, earlier, like 12.
It had them in there?
Had them in there.
Okay.
One at 12:38 didn't have all that stuff.
Okay.
Okay.
That's probably where I lost it.
We did, yeah, okay. With that, just let the record show that the receipt of the budget actual and the invoice of business reports were included in the packet. Upcoming events? Anything special?
I think Jess included that in the packet too, based on our discussion last time. We took to heart what you shared. And just tried to compile that. It, you know, obviously that information had been out in many different places.
Yeah.
But this gives you an easy handout. You are always welcome to attend any of our events. I don't know that I've actually met Mr. I mean, do we know
I
it?
met you,
Were you a department?
Executive committee.
I was.
You were, like, were you in the sheriff's or something, like when I was really new? Okay. Well,
So
sorry.
you know him from going to visit?
Do I know him from going to visit? I can say I have. Okay, so we've like seen each other, no, but I don't know if I've ever really, so
Well, nice to meet you.
nice to meet you, sorry. And if I have 9 counties right now, so I don't really know what I'm doing, but I'm trying, so. Okay, awesome, thank you, sorry, I just didn't want it to be awkward if we
Oh,
didn't know each other, okay,
Totally.
good, me too.
We're all good.
Okay, perfect. I love that. So anyway, you are also welcome to any of our extension activities. If you ever have questions about them, please reach out. Any of our educators can help explain what it is or what we've got going on.
I do remember that, is that the one that talked about AI, the WCA? Wisconsin Counties Association, was it UW Extension was gonna try to do a sectional at the Counties Association in September?
So, I mean, I have, that's on our agenda is for me to kind of give an update about where things are at. I do think, I don't know that they'll be at the regional meetings,
No.
but I think the fall one in Sauk,
Yes,
I think they're working on it.
yeah, I just thought that would be a great place to be there and,
Yes.
well, I mean, really getting a little bit off the subject.
Yeah.
But it was in that one report. Okay, all right, so with that, we'll move to 18, your updates.
Yeah, so we have I'm gonna try to share, we have a new video, just like an overview. I don't know how much Mr. Haas knows about extension or.
I was in 4-H
You were?
probably 50 years ago. 45 years ago.
I don't think we got that long ago.
I actually rode horses all the time in 4-H.
Ah, well,
Well, I can't, but I square dance.
in 4-H.
State cut, we did square dance, yeah,
I raised cows.
and we got
I
rid of
raised pigs.
I'm not sharing my screen right now.
Now,
Okay.
you know what's really good about this is I never knew this about Dan.
Right.
So this is
I mean,
all-
we're at least
Oh,
starting a conversation.
I showed horses to you.
Like a really quick, if I can find it, I thought I was all ready. I was trying to be prepared. And, you know, things happen. But I wanted, it's like, it's a really quick video, just kind of the overview of extension. So you're right, Dick, we have 4-H
Yeah.
here in Oneida. We also have what we call positive youth development, which focuses on the teen court, and those are shared 2 different educators. And then we have a health and well-being educator who's about 0.8,
Yep.
and we share her with ADRC. And she does health and well-being, mostly, I mean, focused a lot on our aging population, obviously the connection, but bringing evidence-based programming, and she's on the TV doing exercising and other things.
And
But-
while you're looking at that, I'll talk about the memorandum of understanding.
Yeah, go ahead.
This memorandum of understanding was developed a couple of years ago, wasn't it?
It was.
1 or 2 years ago.
2 years ago. About.
We also have a contract from the county with UW Extension. When this memorandum of understanding came about from some counties for, I don't know all the reasons. But they wanted to put this together, in terms of some of the, maybe some things that the counties had some problems with in the past. This was iron them out. As far as I know, we have had no problems. And instead of the 9 counties, 1 signs it. If it's all right, I don't mind signing it, that we've received the memorandum of understanding. I mean, so I will sign it on behalf of this committee. If anybody has problems with the following with the last year, so. Okay. But it was when I read through it, wow. 6 pages. I don't know, we had.
Sorry, I'm trying.
Old builders, memorandum with the counties, and as long as this one.
No. Stop sharing, so I can find the. Oh, technology is such a gift and.
Kurt,
Right, okay, let's get rid of that, yoga. And we are not doing yoga, when Laurel comes, she can do some of that with you. Okay, now I've got this. Oops. Oh. Man, thanks, there's too many buttons. Here we go, now we're set. Yeah. See if it'll. Okay.
While she's doing that,
What is
I
this?
think it's not gonna work, because I think we've got too many noises and whatnot, but it was a quick overview, maybe next time I can show it, or I'll send the link to all of you and you can watch it on your own. But I do think it's important just to remind that this part, I think the memorandum, this is a great segue to what Rob is signing now, our memorandum of understanding, is that it really is a 2-way street. So we definitely need input from you. We have limited staff, so there's only so much time with the programming we already currently offer. But if there is something in particular that you are interested in, for example, AI, we'd like to hold a workshop here or do something in the area, and that's something you really believe is important, we can leverage university resources. I am happy to do that. For instance, right now in Taylor County, they are looking at their carryover accounts. They have some large carryover accounts that haven't really been worked through. And so we have the local government, Extension's local government specialist coming in to facilitate a process to help the department heads work on that. So I think sometimes people forget, we have a really small staff here, but behind this small staff are a lot of specialists and extension personnel in natural resources, in community development, in human development. And so if there is something, please make sure you bring it to me or to a committee meeting, and we can definitely do what we can to address it locally or help support it in a way, in whatever way that looks like. So just a reminder as we get started this year about that. And again, I think, as we start a new season, a reminder to all of you, although I do cover a large area, I want to be available. So if there is something you want to have coffee or you have an idea, I will do my best to be available in whatever ways possible. The end of the 2 areas, this year and a half of covering 2 areas is coming. On June 29th, there will be a new area extension director for the East, for Forest, Florence, Lac du Flambeau, for
So
Ottawa.
are you from the West?
So I will be going, I will have Oneida, Forest, Taylor, Lincoln, and Langlade. So they did a little bit of moving around, and so my new area of coverage will still include Oneida, but it will have Price, Taylor, Lincoln, and Langlade.
Okay, I just watched that movie this weekend,
Me
that's
too.
why I was thinking.
But
No,
there you go. So that's just a little bit of an update on that. And artificial intelligence. You have a
I'm
question?
gonna make something more. I'll make a motion to approve the memorandum of understanding between UW Madison Division of Extension and Oneida County as presented.
Second.
Any questions?
You got it.
Hearing none, all those in favor indicate by saying aye.
Aye.
I just wanted to put it on the.
Quick, yeah.
All right, we'll sign it and I'll
I
get it.
use the word anyway.
Twice before, so I have to hurry up.
Okay,
All right, now we're back on the agenda.
awesome.
It's AI.
Yeah, so AI, you had asked me to come and give an update. The update is we have hired a new AI specialist in extension, who just got started last month. And so we'll be rolling out with John Parrish, who, if any of you, Colette, did you go to the AI forum in Lac du Flambeau?
Yeah,
Yeah, so they had at Lac du Flambeau, and then again in the list I think that just sent out, they did one over by Oshkosh. And so they were kind of AI forums. So they did workshops in the morning, 101 and 102 or 201, as a way to help county officials or elected officials think about how they're using AI. And also making sure that they're not using it inappropriately, right? Generative AI builds on the information in many places that you put in. So if you're using a free AI option, typically it means whatever information that you're putting out there is going into the world. So if you copy and paste anything and upload, like let's say you take several different reports and you upload it in and ask for a summary, that all now has become a part of the AI information. And so super important to make sure that if you're going to upload anything that's proprietary, right, like shouldn't be out there, right? And there are certain things that shouldn't when it comes to county government or extension in general, that you either use a version that you are paying for. Both Microsoft and Gemini Google have versions where you can protect the data that you're putting in. So it'll still go out to reach and bring data in for you to utilize, double checking sources, of course, because there can be a ton of information that comes. But they did a 2-hour workshop for government officials, and they have been asked to do it in counties across the state. So if they kind of have a list or like there are a lot of counties signing up, both for their employees, but also for officials, elected officials. So if that is something we're interested in hosting in the area, I am happy to work with you if we think we would like that or need that for either employees, department heads, town boards, county board, whatever we're thinking.
Well, having missed that workshop, now I'm scared.
I think it is good to be hesitant.
Yes, I do too.
I think being aware of the risks, and really thinking, I mean, an amazing tool, right? I mean, I think it can really help. I mean, I appreciate when it synthesizes 100-page reports for me, and it has limitations. So we do have to be careful, about trusting it, and I think that is one of the things. So Linnea, your very response to what I've said is what most people walk away from an AI training with, is that you should do some work around ensuring what platform you're using and how you're using it, so that you don't put yourself at risk or the information and data that you're using. But I am in no means an expert on this. We are hiring people who are, I've just participated in a plethora of training. And there's obviously a way to use it as well in terms of the prompting that you give it to get the data you need, so that it can really be an effective tool. And so there are multiple layers of, both safety. One of the things that came from the AI forum that I think you'll continue to see, that because it was mostly, county governments, local town governments, the conversations after, they kind of did a roundtable to get some information. Some counties are ahead of the game and have policies in place for their employees, right? I mean, people are going to use it. So how do we ensure that we have safeguards? And so I think they're working on that now. Kind of the next step is, can we have a storehouse of resources that county IT departments and others can go to in order to figure out and then adopt their own policies based on whatever programming they're using or how they do or do not want staff to be engaging with AI. So I think that is the next step that you'll be seeing from those workshops, is some actual tools, templates that can be used. So hopefully we'll have those soon, and I'm happy to share as it comes.
It is interesting, if you go on Gemini, because I use Google a lot, and you put names of people it has a lot of data. So if you want to look up yourself and see what the AI world knows about you, it would be very interesting.
I may choose not to do that.
I'm sorry.
I would also ensure that you're checking sources.
Yeah.
Yes.
Right? Like,
Fact
so
check
whatever,
everything.
whatever you do end up, and that those are reputable sources. So before you stand in front of the county board with the next, this is really important to me and I learned all I could about it. That you make sure that it does come from a reputable source and that it isn't just the conglomerate of information that's out there.
Okay,
Like Reddit.
It's a full-time job just to know how many areas you're susceptible in. It's like, it's a full-time job.
And I think it's only going to continue, right? I mean, the other thing with AI, I think we talked about this at the last meeting. I mean, it is constantly changing. So as we have training, weeks later, there's new information and new, updates out there. And so, so I think this is not something that we're done with. I think we will see more, as time goes on.
I'll sign up for the next day.
Okay. We'll see if we can get it close for you, Linnea, or maybe some virtual options.
Facilities updates.
Yeah, I met with, the last meeting we talked about, Nicolay being in their transitional mode for the last, I'll have been here 5 years in July. And they have pretty much been transitioning since then. But I did meet with Jill, who is in their innovation hub. And really, she's getting grounded. She's been there about a year. Al Javarski retired, who was a president over kind of innovation and whatnot. And they've done away with that position. But Jill is really going to be the connector for community, the students, staff, as a way to bring people in and around some of the great technology Nicolay has and some other things. So we started a conversation to think about where we might, and they have, I think there were 4 3D printers that they have just received via a grant. And so thinking about how we can utilize those with both students and staff. So thinking about possibly some youth programming as we move into the fall to get young people out there using that technology, working with some other students, kind of mentoring. So we'll see what comes of that, but slowly but surely, we're looking for places and ways that we can connect. One of her big focuses is agriculture. There's a lot of resources available in urban agriculture. So looking at some of those containers, those large containers, they're doing gardening in those large containers in different places. And so kind of thinking about and exploring some options so that Nicolay can train students who may go out and do some things with some of that urban agriculture in the future, but just as a sustainable way to produce food and use some resources that there may be. So we're exploring some different options, seeing what we might do together.
Thank you.
Yep.
Anything else?
Do you have any questions for me? I figured the meeting was gonna be long enough, so I didn't bring the staff to be introduced this time. But I think if you are all, we'll continue to have them come and report on different parts of their programming. So I think Laurel will be our next, Anne and Sharon both presented at the last meeting. So Laurel will be coming, to talk about some of the work that she has been doing. If that is amiable for all of you.
Oh, yes.
Thank you. Any agenda items, work to do? I go to you and then go to wherever.
Oh.
Next agenda item?
For next time, Jeff.
I mean, other than our normal,
Well, you-
we'll do the office reports.
Yeah,
For,
communicate with Jana.
oh, yeah.
Yeah, okay.
Are you okay with that? I mean, how do you want me to get you, like, is it okay if we give Jana, or do you want me to send stuff to
You
you?
can send it to Jana,
Okay,
copy me if you'd like.
okay,
Yes.
sounds great.
In theory, it's my agenda. I own it,
Right.
Yes, you do.
yes.
You get to keep it.
You're the over.
Yeah.
Perfect.
That's the one that could get challenged if we don't follow it correctly. All right, that's it? Okay.
I think so.
Any public comment? Let the record show there is no one came forward with public comment. We did 21 and we are adjourned. Thank you.
Thank you.
Oh. Right. We put the breaker in the drone district today.
Jess, you are.
No, I should have went with the lumberjack one.
I asked,
Looking at it.
when I saw this, I just thought, oh,
Yeah.
I don't know if that-
bless your heart.
Oh, you have multiple axes.
Absolutely. Do you have a headache?
Huh?
Do you have a headache?
I don't know if allergies or if I'm getting a cold or I don't know what it is. This time of year, you never.
Yeah.
I've had it for almost 3 weeks.
Yeah, what's the out west, anything?
What's going west?
Out west.
Not that I can think of. Other than that road that they're still dealing with, but everybody's upset about that road getting shut down or,
Yeah.
50 what?
no, well, there's that too. No, there was the town of Little Race gave up a road. They gave it back to the county. And the county shut it down and the four wheelers didn't like it, so they went to the fences and they went through the barrels and it was too expensive for them to maintain. This needs culverts, needs some other stuff, and the people back there was county with it. So the Little Race gave it back to the county. And then the county shut down the road because they didn't want it. Four wheelers ripping it up and
No,
people
we're
ripping
gonna
it up.
work it over.
Yeah, so. Yeah. But then there's also the 51, and everybody's running down L now.
Yeah.
L's just unbelievably
Yeah,
busy.
they went along, they're gonna figure that out.
I'm gonna shut this down, okay?
Well, if this AI figures that out for you.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well,